Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is the month in review for, well, July 2024. As usual, if you're new to this series, I'm going to be going through a bunch of things, links and timestamps to everything down below. I'll be going through my favorite videos of the month from other creators, my best new games to me, my favorite experiences overall, my favorite crowdfunding, best videos on my own channel, all that and more, and we're going to go ahead and dive into all of that. Again, links and timestamps to everything down below. But let's go ahead and start off with stats. The one thing I didn't actually say we're going to be doing, we do stats over here as well. The board game stats for the month of July. I have 138 games played in July, which, while actually down from most of my months in last year, 2023, this is actually my best month so far since February. I think February I actually played around 200 games. I think I'd have to go check, but I do know that this is my best month since February. It's been a whole lot of just trying to desperately stay ahead of everything as much as possible, and again, a lot of people, 138 games is a ton. For me, it's pretty good. I've had better. This is going to be my first year ever down on total games played, but it's not about that. He keeps telling himself, trying to desperately believe it. In any case, I have 66 games played, 66 unique games played from those 138 total plays. I have 34 of those 66 were new to me, and my H&X for the month of July is currently 5. H&X is the number of times you've played X games, X times. So I've played at least 5 games 5 times, but I didn't get to playing 6 unique games 6 times each. As far as my most played games, in general, I go through anything that has above 5 plays. We're going to start off with Steal the Bacon with 5 plays. Steal the Bacon, a small little game from Dolphin Hat Games, I believe. I'm playing a bunch of their games, but Steal the Bacon has been one of the more played ones in the house. I have Captain Obvious with 5 plays as well. Captain Obvious is one that I only learned in the last 3 days of July, but managed to get a bunch of plays in. I've been surprisingly enjoying that one. I say surprisingly only because I wasn't expecting a lot from it. We have The Mandalorian with 6 plays. The Mandalorian is going to be the Mandalorian adventure game. There's still some more to go. It's an interesting arc of that one. There's 6 games. Well, there's spoilers. There's games. There's things going on. Either way, I've played 6 plays of the Mandalorian adventure game. We have Primal with 7 plays so far. Primal is one that I've gone through a bunch, and I'm going to be resetting shortly to go ahead and start a filmed gameplay campaign because I like the game and I want to play through it again. We have Things and Rings with 8 plays so far. Things and Rings is one that I've been getting a lot of table time with. It's an enjoyable game from all play, one that I've really had a lot of fun with, and it's easy to table, making it 8 plays so far. And then by far the number one pick over here with 23 plays is Far Away from Pandasaurus Games. It's been a surprise hit for sure, getting an absolute ton of plays, both in person and on VGA. That's Far Away with 23 plays. As far as my favorite videos of the month, this is going to start off with favorite videos from the other channels. Basically times I've seen other videos in other channels and thought, hey, that's a good video that I want to talk about. And usually, for most things, I actually only do 5 of anything. So I do my 5 favorite experiences, my 5 best new games, my 5 crowdfunding. I cap it all at 5, but this time I have 6 because I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to cut. And I was like, you know what? If there's ever a time for breaking the rules, it's when you're sharing love for other creators in the space. So coming at number 6, we have the best expansion. Specifically from the Dragon's Tomb, he has a video of every single YouTuber. He didn't miss a single one. Every single board game YouTuber's best expansion. It's a full video. I am featured in it. I enjoyed the video, and I highly recommend you check out my favorite Cyclades expansion ever because, well, it's awesome. It's awesome. Coming in number 5, we have a film about making games. This is from Ivy Games, and they kind of go through the journey of what it takes to make a game. I think Ivy Games in general puts out fantastic content about the board game industry, about the challenges of being a creator, about what it's like to be on the other side with that lens and also that film production to kind of be able to give you that journey. I think it's a fantastic video, but 20 minutes of your time, and 20 minutes of your time well spent if you want to learn a bit more about the board game industry. We are starting a YouTube channel from Foster the Meeple. This is always, I love it whenever channels do this, about things to learn, tips and tricks, stuff like that, things that you can pick up along the way. In general, a good note, in fact, one of my favorite videos on the YouTube platform in general is Success Luck or Hard Work? It's a fantastic video. The reason I bring that up is because Foster the Meeple does a great job going through a bunch of tips and tricks to starting a YouTube channel and things to know. Some of that stuff will be information that's going to be helpful no matter what, and other stuff is useful advice to follow, although the reason I bring up success, luck, or hard work is in general in life, unfortunately, success is a combination of luck and hard work. You have to do the hard work to set yourself up, but then the luck still has to come. You have to be someone who's in that position. There are a lot of things. I can tell you every single thing I did starting my YouTube channel, and some of you might be able to take that and turn it into something that you start yourself, and others not. In general, you have to be able to put in the legwork, you have to be able to do all the things right, but then there still is a degree of, are you one of the fortunate few who got lucky? I've frequently said that I've been very lucky in I've been very lucky in the YouTube space. I've been very fortunate and I'm very grateful for it. I do think I put in the hard work, but unfortunately, sometimes you need both. You need both. You need the luck and the hard work. But a fantastic video from Foster the Meeple. We have Scythe board. I can't remember the title of this one, but like something about Scythe from Board Game Hackers. Board Game Hackers is my guilty pleasure in the board game space. They have incredible production quality and such a fascinating way that they approach the hobbyist space. I find them immensely entertaining and incredibly well done videos. You don't have to agree with them. I frequently do not. But I find their videos so entertaining and so well done. They are incredible. They're absolutely incredible. Like I've always said that one of my tips and tricks as far as starting a YouTube channel in the board game space is you have to be either better or different than everyone else. You have to be the best at what you do or different than what other channels are doing in order to really stand out. And I think Board Game Hackers, in a weird way, managed to be a little bit of both. They are certainly different, and they're also very, very, very good at it at the same time. We have a Going Analog Quiz Show. I love the Going Analog Quiz Show, and it's been far too long since their last episode, and they are back with their whatever number season it is. I don't actually know anymore, but they have 2 videos currently up in their new season, featuring, oh my gosh, Becca Scott was in one of them, and then Benita Kerr, I believe. I believe Benita Kerr was in the other one, but they have 2 videos up on the new series and the new season, and this season has been brutally hard so far. It's been harder than previous seasons, so walk in knowing that and be prepared. And then lastly, by far my favorite video of the month was Meeplegate. Meeplegate by Pam Walls. She has a board game creation and designer channel where she talks about different things in the space, and she did an in-depth coverage of Meeplegate. If you're not familiar, Meeplegate, which is the new term I guess, is when Handsome Gluck decided to go after a small publisher because they used the term meeple in their, well, I think their company name as well as their board game name. And that became a whole conversation because a lot of people were like, hey, this feels kind of inconsistent and bullying. And Handsome Gluck has gotten mostly nothing but bad press from the entire incident, but Pam Walls does the best coverage of the entire thing that I've seen from anyone. A full deep dive into it, a ton of information from the origin of meeple to a whole bunch of stuff that happened in the story that I didn't even know about. By far the best coverage of the entire Meeplegate situation is Pam Walls. Her video went viral, deservedly so, with 200,000 views, and another follow-up video where she goes over questions and answers with another 20,000 views. It has deserved every single ounce of recognition it has gotten. It is an incredibly well done journalistic approach to the entire conversation. As far as my best new games of the month, these are going to be my favorite new games of the month. I have 5 easily over here. I had to cut this one down to 5, but I made it work. Coming at number 5, we have Umbrella from Pandasaurus. And I only have 1 play under my belt, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. Whenever I do my best new games of the month, I do try to warn you, like, hey, if I only have 1 or 2 plays, I want you to know. Sometimes I have a lot. Other times, not so much. It just depends. It takes time to get everything. But Umbrella is one that I have 1 play under my belt, and it is the kind of game where I could see it going down with multiple plays. We'll see. But it is coming at number 5 over here with a very enjoyable, puzzly experience where you're trying to think several moves in advance as you line up different Umbrella tokens on your board. Very enjoyable game, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. We have Army of the Dead, a Zombicide game. Really enjoyed that. It is a surprise hit for me in the sense that I like Zombicide games in general, but I often have critiques around them. Army of the Dead, I thought they did a fantastic job of adding new things to the genre while still being incredibly brutally hard, but winnable. I really enjoy Army of the Dead, and I'm looking forward to, playing more of it. Coming at number 3, we have Harmonies. Harmonies, I got several plays in at Dice Tower East, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good puzzly experience that combines a little bit of Cascadia and a little bit of Reef in a game that I think arguably, well, it's for sure better than Reef. Well, for sure in my opinion. This is subjective opinions, but I think it may. I'm not prepared to say it's better than Cascadia. I love Cascadia too much. We'll have to wait and see on Harmonies. Coming at number 2, we have Faraway. Some games I only get 1 play, such as Umbrella, and Harmonies I got 2 plays, and Faraway I got 23 plays in. 23 plays, so I've definitely had reviews will be coming soon, but you already know that it is one of my favorite new games of the month because I got 23 plays of it. It's coming in at number 2. And then coming in at number 1, I've only gotten like 4 or 5 plays of this one, but DC Superheroes United is my number 1 favorite game of, new to me game of July. And that is, at the end of the day, as much as I enjoy Faraway, as much as I enjoy Harmonies and Army of the Dead, at the end of the day, the DC United or the Marvel United system is a system that I enjoy very much, and I do think DC United did a great job of continuing to be, well, a good game in that system. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. From there, we have my disappointments of the month. And as usual, this is the category where I least try to actually make it to 5. I go through all the games I played that month, and I just list the ones that are disappointments. Usually I have 2 to 3. I think one time I had 4, maybe, I don't know. But either way, coming with disappointments over here, we have 3 disappointments to me. The first is going to be Xylotar from Bezier Games. I heard a bunch of people who enjoyed that one. I was looking forward to playing it. I do like trick-taking games nowadays, and I dove into Xylotar. I thought it was a very interesting theme, and unfortunately, it's not a bad game. It's a 3 out of 5 for me, but it was forgettable. It was forgettable. 3 out of 5 is not a bad game that is forgettable, and Xylotar is one I thought would be more for me. Coming out of number 2, we have Neum. Neum's been on my shelf for a long time, been wanting to play that one, and eventually I got a table and realized that I just don't like that game. It's not bad in the traditional sense, it's just, again, totally forgettable. I think they're, like, a lot of people compare it to Seven Wonders, and I love Seven Wonders, which is why I wanted to try a tile-laying version of Seven Wonders, and ultimately I thought it was the worst of both worlds. It was not a better tile-laying game, it was not a better 3-round civilization game, it was very comparable to Seven Wonders, and to me, worse in every single way. Still not bad, just worse in every single way to Seven Wonders. Coming in number 1, we have Memoir 44, which I've never actually played, but finally got a chance to table. I've played Battle Lore, so I did know the commands and color system, but I've never played Memoir 44. I've never been intrigued enough. It's got a theme that doesn't resonate with me, like, modern, realistic warfare, and it's built on a system that hasn't resonated with me, and so I only played it literally as an experiment. I was like, it's on BGA, I'll play it with a friend and see if this one actually is any good. And spoiler alert, it's not. To me, this is the category, you always have a caveat, not category, this is a caveat, you always have to know your audience, know yourself, and the Memoir 44 system is well loved with 1 million expansions. I cannot understand why, but it is clearly well loved with 1 million expansions, so it has an audience. I'm just not in that audience. I was not expecting to like it, and I was still disappointed with how much I disliked it. I thought it would be passable. I thought it'd be like, okay, listen, like, what's wrong with a luck-driven game? Turns out it is. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. From there we go into my favorite videos, this time my favorite videos on my channel. Coming in at number 5, we have the Elder Scrolls unboxing. I really enjoy playing through Elder Scrolls during the prototype phase. I'm really looking forward to diving into it more. I've already played it a few times since the unboxing. I should have review coverage for you at some point in the hopefully reasonable future, but I did an unboxing of the game, which was a little chaotic, a lot all over the place, and also had me not reading a letter that said I should read this first, and regretting it ever since. Coming at number 4, we have my Dice Tower East vlog. I find vlogs always fascinating as to whether I do or don't get them done. Generally, I think that the problem with my vlogs in the past, and I enjoy vlogs, they're a guilty pleasure, it's something I'm always going to do. They don't always perform as well, but I always am going to continue to do them. And for me, I think that part of the problem is that very often my vlogs are I'm either into them and involved with them, but they're more personal. It's like, oh, it's a trip with my friends and all that, I'm having a good time. Or alternatively, it's something like Gen Con where I start taking a vlog and I just forget halfway through because I'm too involved in the board games, and so it's not really good there. My Dice Tower East vlog I liked because it was a playing games convention, which meant I was actually like kind of into the things I was showing, but it was also more about the board games than the people, so it both did better in that sense, and also I think it was a better representation of coverage of something, so I enjoyed it. I think playing games convention vlogs are going to generally do better than the madness and chaos that is Gen Con. Coming at number 3, we have Army of the Dead gameplay. Generally, I did an Army of the Dead, the Zombicide game. I did a gameplay of this. I've always enjoyed doing Zombicide gameplays on the channel, and I always keep meaning to continue to do more and keep forgetting to come back to them. But yeah, I have an Army of the Dead gameplay that I enjoy doing because I like certain gameplays. I like gameplays that I'm doing out of passion. Like, there are a lot of gameplays on the channel, but I'd say that they are probably like 60-40 as far as gameplays I want to play versus gameplays that are sponsored gameplays. And don't get me wrong, I still enjoy sponsored gameplays, but there is more of a pressure, and often I'm playing them for like the second time or something like that, as opposed to something like Army of the Dead is a game system that, I can sit there and learn because I'm doing it because I want to. I often know the games better and have played them more beforehand. So yeah, as I enjoy my Army of the Dead gameplay. Coming number 2, we have Why Is No One Talking About Night Shift. Night Shift was a crowdfunding game that very few creators covered, and I did a video talking about why very few creators are covering it, including myself. I enjoy conversations around interesting things within the board game space. This to me was very much an interesting thing in the board game space, and as such I enjoyed talking about it. It's not going to be a video for everyone. It is a complicated conversation. No creator is going to make everyone happy through the nature of what they do or don't talk about with the game, but ultimately I enjoyed being able to talk about a complicated conversation in the hobby. Speaking of complicated conversations, my number 1 video on my channel was Biases and Blind Spots. It was a video talking about the nature of my coverage of the God of War campaign when it was over on GameFound. Simon had a campaign for God of War, and at the time I got a lot of pushback from the audience, or at least, again, lot is relative. Most people are usually fine and happy, but I'd say I got an above average amount of pushback, and that's usually the key thing. For me, I focus on, there's always going to be people who are unhappy with any number of things that happen on this channel, on anyone's channel. You're never going to make everyone happy, and you shouldn't try. When I say you shouldn't try, that's more complicated. You might want to try to make people happy, but it's not a goal you should strive for. You should realize that in life, especially when dealing with large volumes of people, some people are going to be unhappy with what you do. This is true whether you are a board game creator, a board game content creator, whether it's not board games at all. Whether in any way when you're engaging with a large number of people, you have to be mindful that some percentage of people are not going to like what you do. That part's okay. But I do tend to focus very heavily when there's an above average amount of opinions that are counter to what I'm doing. And that was the case with my coverage of the God of War game, and it did cause me to sit back and reflect a bit, and that was the nature of this video. The nature of this video is almost focusing on the fact that sometimes the appearance of bias is just as much of a problem as bias itself. And that was the main point of this video, and I appreciated being able to go into it. I also appreciated your responses to that video. Moving on over here to my favorite crowdfunding, my 5 crowdfunding highlights, my top 5 crowdfunding campaigns for this month. Coming at number 5, we have Odalin from Jagori Games. I really enjoyed playing through the prototype, and I'm looking forward to effectively what kind of feels a little bit like a lighter Tenaris Adventures. Very different at the same time, but I enjoyed the system in Odalin, and I'm looking forward to the final game. Coming at number 4, we had a Kemet review, a Kemet crowdfunding campaign or whatnot. I love Kemet, I love the game, and I'm excited for 2 full new stacks of tiles, as well as the fact that there's other things like, the God mode, which is literally what the campaign's called, but ultimately the power tiles are the best part of the new expansion. Coming at number 3, we have 20 Strong Tanglewoods. I love 20 Strong, and I enjoy 20 Strong's Tanglewoods addition to the line. My biggest pet peeve is I want the bosses to be more variable in that game, but ultimately the overall gameplay experience is excellent. And coming at number 2, we have Brink from IV Games. I love playing through Brink, and I'm looking forward to the final game delivering. In general, IV Games puts out fantastic games, but the one that has resonated with me the most until now is Mythic Mischief, and Brink is likely coming in second. I don't think it's going to overtake Mythic Mischief. I think it's coming in second to Mythic Mischief. Both are 5 out of 5s to me. Very much looking forward to that. And then coming at number 1, and this shouldn't be a surprise based on my best new games to me of the month, but DC United. DC Superheroes United is a campaign I'm very much looking forward to all the final things. Once again, seeing my manage to knock it out of the park as far as the very different things that the expansions are going to add to make the game constantly different, and I'm looking forward to that final game. Which brings us to the last category in the month in review, which is going to be the best overall experiences. These basically are my favorite games that I've played, but not new to me. So I call it experiences. I guess sometime maybe I'll actually put something in here that's not a board game, maybe, but I usually put board games in there. They're just not new to me games. Coming at number 5, we have Waffle Time, which is actually not that great a game, but I had a great time playing with my kids. That was one that I played a while ago, and I've covered the game, and I haven't really played it in a long time, and I pulled it out and played it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I like Waffle Time more than I remember liking it, so I'm eager to dive back into that one again. It's light, it's simple, it's stupid, it's like charcuterie, but with waffles, and syrup, and whipped cream as well. Coming at number 4, we have Glass Road. Glass Road is one that I played at Dice Tower East. It's an older game that I have not played in quite some time, and once again I pulled it out and played it, and Glass Road is one of those games that I think every time I play it, I'm like, I do like this game. I do want this game back. So that's Glass Road. Is great. Honestly, most of the games we're going to be talking about in this my best new experiences are games that I don't play often but did come back to and enjoyed them. Speaking of which, my number 3 is Whistle Mountain. Whistle Mountain is excellent. I almost got rid of Whistle Mountain once, but then I played Apiary. Whistle Mountain was on my pile of games I was getting rid of, and then I played Apiary, and I was like, this reminds me of Whistle Mountain, and I decided to show my friend Whistle Mountain, and we played it, and I was like, I do like Whistle Mountain. I do like Whistle Mountain. It's a great game that I don't play all that often, but every single time I played, as I did recently, I played it again in July. It reminds me why I constantly keep coming back to it. I think it's a fantastic game from Bezier Games. It might be my favorite Bezier Games game. Maybe. I'd have to go look at what they put out. I'd have to go look at the full catalog, but Whistle Mountain is definitely up there, I'll tell you that much. Coming number 2, we have Skyrise. Skyrise from Roxley Games. A game that, again, hadn't played in quite some time, sat down to table it, and was like, this is better than I remember it. Skyrise is a game I played during the prototype phase, and I reviewed it, and I liked it, and I enjoyed it, and then this does happen from time to time with me, where the final game shows up, and I'm like, I don't know, I have so many games. And I do have so many games. I'm very fortunate to have so many games, but it does mean that very good experiences often don't hook me the same way they used to, because I have so many games that I'm constantly trying to play. And so Skyrise sat there. I wasn't willing to get rid of it because I remembered enjoying it, but I finally got a chance to table it in July, and it's like, this is better than I remember. Like, Skyrise is one of those games that I think is going to get a post-review bump, which, in general, I keep track of my ratings. I move them around as I need to. Now, I need more plays in my belt, but based on the first play I got in July, having not played in a very long time, Skyrise is good. I like Skyrise, and It's a great production, it's a great game, and the bidding system is so satisfying, and it's such a good implementation of that bidding system. Which brings me to my number one game of July, which is Primal. Primal is absolutely amazing. It's an incredible experience. Everything about the game holds up. I've already tabled it like before July, meaning this is one that's not new to me July, so this is not like one-off. But I got the game. I've played it. I think I played it a few times last month, but either way, I played it a ton more in July, diving into the campaign and all that. And I like Primal. I like Primal a lot. It is so satisfying. It is so good. The bosses are so variable. Each boss feels different. The progression is solid. The campaign's not too long. Primal is one of my favorite games. Absolutely no question there. And that has been your month in review. That has been everything for the month in review for the month of July. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.